Hi, my name is Ivy Cheng. I work for Click and Sofa Industries, also known as KS. KS is located in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. My job title is Senior Director of Engineering. There are about 70 engineers in my team, and they work in 3 different countries, including here in the US, Singapore, and Suzhou, China. As for my education background, I got my master's and PhD degree in mechanical engineering and applied mechanics from University of Pennsylvania. Before that, I studied mathematics in Penn State. While working for KS, I also took 1 year of MBA course at Penn State Great Valley. I've been working and living in Pennsylvania for the last 30 years. I love this area. I think we have a lot of great colleges and good STEM programs in Pennsylvania. We are at the beginning of the 4th industrial revolution, enabled by dramatic increase of computational power and digital connectivity. I think some of the most exciting STEM fields are artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics and automation, advanced material, and renewable energy. I have worked for KS for 27 years. The work here is challenging but very rewarding. The best part of my job are working with really smart and dedicated people who support each other, developing innovative ideas and solutions to solve our customers' toughest challenges, and just being the best at what we do. If you're interested in KS, please visit us at www.ks.com. We have a lot of exciting career opportunities for both full-time jobs and internships. I really enjoy my work, and after so many years, I'm still excited to get to work every day. I encourage you to consider a career in STEM, especially engineering. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Usha Roa, and I'm an associate professor of environmental chemistry at St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia, and I'm a resident of Montgomery County. I have a bachelor's degree in geology from the University of Bombay in India. I obtained my PhD in geochemistry from the University of Rochester, where I specialized in the study of nuclear pollution. I then completed a 3-year fellowship in environmental engineering and geology at Northwestern University, studying how we can use wetlands to clean up agricultural and urban pollution before coming to Pennsylvania for work 20 years ago. I am a college professor of environmental chemistry. I absolutely love teaching and mentoring students in research. It's a wonderful experience to help young scientists discover their passion. At the moment, my students and I are working along with a biochemistry professor on a new method for breaking down toxic industrial dye pollutants using naturally found heme proteins. I'm using a technique called UV-Vis spectrophotometry. You can see the spectrophotometer behind me, to measure how a series of dye compounds are being broken down by these proteins. The samples go into a container called a cuvette, and we measure the intensity of light in the visible and ultraviolet range as it passes through the sample to determine the concentration of the dye that is left over. We also measure kinetics, or the rate of dye degradation, since we want our proteins to be able to quickly and efficiently degrade these toxic dyes in real-world settings, such as waste from dye factories. This is a wonderful time to be in STEM, where creative, interdisciplinary research, just like mine, is revolutionizing many traditional areas of study. Science can solve so many important problems, such as climate change or eradicate diseases like cancer. Through good science, you can change the lives of millions of people all over the world. My advice to all young people is that if you like learning about these fields, you can absolutely become a successful scientist, engineer, or mathematician, and know that these fields need your contribution.
Hello, my name is Jumoke Dada, and I'm the founder of the Tech Women Network and UTech Summit. I'm also the project manager for the Making Space initiative created by the R Street Institute. So I got my start in technology by going the traditional route. I went to college and I majored in computer information science, and then immediately after graduation I started working in the field. I actually went to a career fair on campus, and that's how I met with the recruiters that eventually hired me. So just to know, don't discount the career fairs. I started working as an application developer and moved into different roles throughout my career. I navigated through being a systems analyst, business systems analyst, and landed in project management before going out on my own and becoming an independent contractor. So I provide technical project management services, as well as create spaces for women in tech, for girls in tech, through platforms like the Tech Women Network and the HUTech Summit. I created the Tech Women Network in 2017 because I was looking for community, and I created it just to showcase other women in tech and encourage them to connect for different projects and to share resources. As a result of seeing how many women were joining, or women of color were joining, I then started the HUTech Summit, which is an annual conference dedicated to educating, elevating, and empowering women of color technologists. So I started that in 2018, and it's continued. So that's my day-to-day work. Right now, I'm really, really excited to be the project manager for the Making Space initiative. The goal is to just make space and create opportunities and really push for more diversity in the field of cybersecurity. The space needs more women. It needs more African Americans, and this is the work that I get to do now through the initiative. So a day in the life for me looks like managing a lot of tasks, doing outreach to organizations and technical experts. When I'm in HUE planning mode, there's a lot of coordination of speakers and programs, like what the agenda is going to look like. So what does the future of STEM look like? Well, I will say that it's hopeful. You have women like myself and others that are out here doing work, doing advocacy work, making space or encouraging people to make space for those of us that are minorities. So I'm hopeful that we're making an impact and helping to move the needle so that things will be a little bit easier for the girls coming behind us. Why is your job exciting? Well, it's exciting because I get to meet with a lot of different women. I get to encourage and inspire women, people that look like me. I get to make change and impact. And I get to be creative as well. Sometimes as technologists, we can get pigeonholed into being one thing, but I myself am, I don't fit in one box. So I'm very well-rounded, and I'm really excited that I get to use all of my gifts and talents daily. Thank you.
My name is Laura Felix, and I work for Project Echo at Penn State College of Medicine as a human research technologist too. I live in Cumberland County. My educational background is a bachelor's degree in biology concentrated in genetics and developmental biology from Penn State Harrisburg. I am currently pursuing my master's in public health concentrated in epidemiology and biostatistics. To me, the future of STEM, it looks like an inclusive and accessible place. I see STEM as having a place for everybody. Specifically my field of public health science, I see a really great need for people to not only complete research in order to prevent diseases and improve lifestyles, but also to communicate those research findings to the general public. I think that communicating the research findings is just as important as doing the research itself. And now more than ever, it is so important that the people doing the research and communicating the research findings are more representative of the people that they're trying to reach. And so that means that the future of STEM is you. For me, I love working in STEM and I love my job as a research technologist because it allows me to be a part of something bigger than myself. I get to go to work every day and work with numbers and piece together data to create a larger picture and story. Specifically, the work that I do at Penn State Project Echo is so great because of the people I get to work with. I think that people think of STEM as being a bunch of isolated fields, but for me, the research team I get to work with is so wonderful. I work on a team of 11 women who are all fantastic at their jobs and have shown that we can set our minds to anything and accomplish goals. I also love working for Penn State Project Echo because my goals and my interests are used every single day in my job. I get to go to work and work with numbers that ultimately represent the 1,800 plus people that Penn State Project Echo has touched, and to me that is so meaningful. I also love working for Penn State because it means that I'm a part of a community. I think Penn State has such a large role here in Pennsylvania, specifically in the academic setting and the healthcare setting, and those are two areas that are so important to me. And Penn State Project Echo specifically wants me to grow as a person, as a professional, and as a student. And any opportunities for me to learn and better myself are immediately celebrated. And that's why I love and am so proud to do research for Penn State Project Echo.